Enjoy this cast. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic one. It's Team Liquid Citadel versus Yeah We Lost.
All right, my friend, what do you say we do it again, dog?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, kind of on that, back what he said, I think, yeah, we lost can do it. Like in officials, they've proven they can, especially with, all of the sort of swagger and aura they had yesterday versus TSM. Now, today's a completely different story. I think that Team Liquid Citadel are obviously on another level compared to a org like TSM at the current moment in this scene. But, we're going to be in for a treat regardless if we know anything out of Yeah We Lost. And same thing with Liquid Citadel. And I'm sure there's going to be some typing in chat that we can't necessarily see.
And you see the lock-in of Mantis here for Yeah We Lost. That's going to enable some of that poke, that dive, that stuff that's a little more tricky to handle. And they are going to allow, at least for the moment, the Elsa save coming in, obviously, because they did get rid of that Gambit. We're going to see some more traditional stuff across the board here from these two teams. And if you do, allow that something like Gambit coming through, you usually want to get rid of the Loki, but instead, locking in the Mantis, instead they're just worried more about those crystals, Liquid Citadel.
It's interesting. I mean, obviously, Yeah We Lost showing they love to play that damage boost composition, no matter how you get it. But for Team Liquid Citadel, they want to play around that Elsa again. We've seen how good energy could be on that hero and stuff. And, we've seen also for the same thing with Yeah We Lost, this is the first time I believe Jitward in a while is going to be able to play the Daredevil as well, maybe. So they have options. Yeah. They're getting one-sided matchups. That is a very interesting one.
Yeah, again, burning T'Challa off the rip here. They are going to save that Ultron. We've seen Liquid Citadel run that comp better than any team so far. They've had it tested at one point by SSG in a mirror matchup and forced the team to swap. So again, we'll see what they elect to run. They have some options here, but I'll tell you one thing that's for certain. Energy will absolutely be on that Elsa.
Well, there it is. Respect towards Paulie on the cap as well to get rid of the ban, or to get rid of Paulie's cap specifically. And then for the side of Yeah We Lost, you know what? They also can't play the Doctor Strange because Liquid Citadel want to make sure they don't have Kendrick onto that Doctor Strange, who has been playing so aggressive and a very strong Doctor Strange so far throughout, which has kind of been sort of under talked about for sure, Shib. Like, I know you can mention how good these Doctor Strange plays have been, but I feel like they've been super vital too. Like in the last series, we saw big Doctor Strange plays, but I think none other than, when we saw Swamp Gaming and Day switching over it too, right? A lot of these duelist players can play a very high level Doctor Strange like Kendrick can.
Yeah, and I think you're just enabled when you have that invis. That team up allows you to keep people close. I think if you can pull heroes at any given moment, it makes Strange more valuable because Strange at the top level, and if you just want to play him more properly, essentially plays like a melee hero. You want to be on top of enemies, constantly using your melee between your autos and just bursting damage whenever you see a window that would net you a KO. And when you have that pullback, it gives you another opportunity to hit with another left melee animation cancel combo just to keep the damage flowing. So it looks really good, although the 100 shield loss was definitely a hit to Strange across the board. His portal will always be valuable, so he'll always be seen in matches, and teams will have to stay on him after that portal comes through. As we start up here, our first map of the Dom. Yeah, we lost. Liquid Citadel.
All right, Shib starting it out. We get to see Spark Chief on his Hulk yet again. All these players talking about how, or at least all of the fans, also noticing that Hulk plays have been the #1 feature of this Ignite series, but it's going to be very hyper fast. And, oh my goodness, Cooper's already gone.
Yeah, there's that snowball I was talking about. Walk forward, the whole team jumps on the backline. Goodbye to 1. Jitward going to fall here from Speedery, though, to try to even the numbers just a little bit. It's going to be a 5v5. They're stalling point for the moment. And we're seeing a lot more teams leave that central location open before breaking it, where at least in last Ignite, it was just broken the moment the fight started. Spark Chief going to fall there from Zaytex. Zaytex going to be on that Mantis, was locked in early on, is going to also fall, but this time from Nero. Back and forth we go across the board. Polly is able to find one on a Xantho after Mask takes out Speedery. And again, we're back and forth.
Yeah, using the shield to stay alive. Nice job to get the iframes, but shortly after this will go down. Unfortunately, Mask's ult was not enough. In the meantime, Energy is able to do whatever he wants, and a little bit of laggage there. But at the moment, Jitward probably turned around looking for his team in the previous fight. I feel like, for me, Shib, that seemed to be the reason they lost was, without that Doctor Strange aggression, Kendrick forced to anchor towards the point whenever cart cooldowns were down. He didn't have any help on the follow-up. That resulted in Jitward going down early.
We just saw a lot of solid micro play there. Yeah, maybe we didn't see as much team coordination and stuff, but everyone was playing their own game and everyone was finding value back and forth. They saw a pick come through. They didn't elect to drop back as a unit. Instead, they said, hey, you know what, we can still clutch this, and they did just that. As we see now, Liquid Citadel 22% in climbing. Kendrick walking forward here on the Magneto. Alt advantage going to be slightly in favor of Liquid Citadel, as Energy has that Glartrox available, and we have seen what Glartrox can do even on the last map, but Energy goes down before he can even press the Q button. Mask, with a huge pick there, is now taking priority on point.
Yeah, great work from that to get the cross-map shot and immediate dives onto Cooper, like you said with the Mantis, but Cart goes down in the middle of it, Shiv. That's brutal.
Yeah, that was really good focus, and Cooper just with a huge freeze, followed up by an Ultron, Rage of Ultron to keep him healthy. This could be huge here. Bang! It is going to find Cooper, and the point, though, is still being held by Liquid Citadel at this moment, 54% now, as someone is still stalling, and that someone is Polly on the Vanpool with ult available.
Wait, Santo, did he just lag out? Oh, no. Wait, that could be game turning. Energy gets dove upon by Jitward in the meanwhile. At least he can make it equal if you can find these KOs. But it's as you mentioned, Paulie stalled at that point for an incredibly long time. Portal is also here from Speedery. They did not get the Doctor Strange ban. We talk about the individual ban system that we have because Doctor Strange is banned for we lost, but not Liquid Citadel, so they're still touching.
And we can see now the Glartrox available. Energy being a little more patient with it, and that kind of has been over these series, waiting for a perfect moment. Paulie able to find Mask, and this is just textbook retake. Unfortunate situation there for We Lost, who are unable to regain right now. Alt advantage still going to be up for Liquid Citadel. Energy going to be in a position where off-map is available for Glartrox if they were to push up, but they might be waiting for a portal. Oh, wait, it's like I lied. They do not have portal like you'd mentioned, so they can take it on the space if they so desire, electing not to. Insane drop back as a unit.
Yeah, I mean, this is potentially fight winning right now for Liquid Citadel. I mean, overtime ticks down. We're going next map already. Spark Chief committed the ultimate at the very end, at least for We Lost. But yeah, that's brutal. Probably the reason we didn't see a pause, by the way, too, was more than likely it was just a temporary DC, which is unfortunate after playing online. Hashtag get these guys at Team House. Hashtag pick them up somebody. But regardless, you got to keep playing, right? It's unfortunate. You have to go next map. And at least you got ultimates out of Spark Chief and Paulie. So maybe with their advantage, they can go aggressive yet again, Shiv, because we've seen them do it before. But I like how you pointed it out, too. Like the Doctor Strange one-sided matchup, that is the most glaring in this sort of specific ban system that we have. It's the most obvious point to what can happen if you go for that one-sided Doctor Strange portal and in the ban phase.
Yeah, I mean, Portal just has so much value, like we had touched on, but, it's great in Dom for retake, for those early Portal plays off the back of a Strat ult to buy you more time. And, I mean, we saw multiple times there where Paulie was holding point and then Speedery was able to teleport in. We saw that at least one time in this specific map, but that was huge for them. It gave them the chance to turn that 56% into a 99%, and that's everything in Dom. So great stall, great utilization of Portal there. We Lost will not have that option, and Kendrick's been great on that hero too. So just another shining bright little token there to be able to ban out Strange as we see Card try to initiate fast. Speedery got to turn backward, put Drone on the back line and keep the pressure on, but does get hit by that Feast.
Ooh, yeah, pulled in. Antied, Energy comes back to peel off Jitward, who's got that boost, but no KOs just yet. Jackpot maybe on the backside. Comes through Jitward looking for back line. Everybody's trying to peel him off, though, with this Wolf ultimate, so point still, or Fox ultimate rather, as Zatex also popping another ultimate to keep up this aggression for We Lost.
A lot of pressure out now. Paulie going to launch ult towards the back line, try to stall a little bit, has a ton of HP right now, still able to find Xantho.
Jesus.
Is getting pressured, but not even looking right there onto the venom of Card. Didn't even need to worry about it, instead just trying to hold on so the team can get here, but I don't think that will be the case. The Meteor M is committed right there too. Does find one. What a throw there by Kendrick. Paulie finds Mask, though, and the point still has yet to be taken. Paulie doing a great job at owning this point over these last two maps.
Yeah, he really has, but the point still kind of being controlled by We Lost until Spark Chief comes back. So they're switching their HP out almost like they're playing in the same computer ship. That was literally some of the best duo tank play and Vanguard play.
Yeah, that was dirty. I mean, that was insane stall. Insane stall there. Still gets a pick through the chaos, avoids, some ultimates being committed, finds another pick, goes back to point, and by that time, the team is back. This is just some really clean play by Liquid Citadel.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll see if they can keep it up, obviously. A little bit of a pause going on in the in-game client. We're going to bring, I believe, Gask back in with us, Shib, too. So, I mean, overall, that was, like you said, just perfect rotations out of Spark Chief, switching out with Paulie when he's low. And I guess maybe that's what you do when the likes of Paulie is so free compared to other of these like really good Deadpool players that we've seen. I feel like we've seen maybe not as much value found, right? Like out of these Van pools like Paulie was doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you right now. I mean, that was a great testament. I mean, we also saw Paulie on map one, like we had talked about, just consistently on point and just peppering the backline at all times. And the comms have to be focused and maybe try to drop Paulie first, but it's difficult into a Van pool that has a lot of solution, has multiple escape tools, 3 escape tools with the 2 dashes on sword, does have the double jump, has a shield on range form, and then at any point when ult is available, can get an additional overhealth whenever he so desires. So there's a ton of tools there. So it's a very difficult decision. Do you focus that Van pool and try to burn them to get the point control, or do you dive the backline, which they have been doing, but it just hasn't been working?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said already about the two teams. Liquid Citadel looking pretty strong, though. It has to be said. I think that getting to see Nero and White Fox is a lot of fun. I love to see anyone who's going to be playing White Fox at the moment, because I really do think that she is defining what a strategist can do and almost redefining that role as well, with the some ways that people are playing her at the moment. Dog, do you think that, yeah, we lost have a chance to get back into this one at the moment, or do you think they were just a little bit outmatched in that ban phase?
Yeah, I think they do. I mean, they've had their moments. Realistically, maybe they're in this potential deficit because of what happened with Xantho. Like, who knows how that fight goes? Maybe same thing with this one, right? Like, because we're in a pause, who knows if they're having some issues with that? Potentially, maybe we have to hit up No Binds to try to get into his little space station or something. I don't know. Like, I feel like for We Lost, they do have a good shot, and they love obviously playing this triple composition with the Strat pool alongside the Mantis. But this kind of goes to what Shib said, and it's kind of a little apparent right now what happens when you put somebody on the Van pool that can take advantage of not only that HP pool that he has, but his damage output as well.
HP pool. Yeah, that's the next one. It comes after Van pool, and then we get Duelist pool, and then HP pool. Shib, it's 1-0 at the moment, and obviously we know that, We Lost do have the potential to get back into this, but with a pause happening, there is always the question of who it benefits more. Do you think that this kills the momentum of Team Liquid, or do you think that, We Lost, now they get that chance to just have a little bit of respite and reassess how they're going to approach this one?
Yeah, I'm not sure the root cause of what's going on with the pause, obviously, but I will say I think We Lost needs this moment. I think they need to just try to figure things out. Right now, they're struggling with target priority. They're finding some success under the backline. It's not even necessarily that they're getting picks, but they're driving them back. But Paulie is uncontested almost at all times. He was not even turning around to Cart, whose Venom was just pummeling him. He did not even mind. He was still getting picks looking forward, and then spun around, used cooldowns, was able to stall point, come back after they put 3 on point to retake. Guys playing lights out right now. They've got to find a way to stop that.
And Dog, I mean, I'm going to talk very far in advance now. Actually, I might not need to, because I think the game might be back underway shortly. It looks like the pause is almost undone, so I'm not going to say that question. Otherwise, it might have put us in a situation where I would have been questioning you things. Let's jump back into the game, guys. Enjoy this one. Take it away.
As we see Cooper, Speedery, Nero able to find 3. Spark Chief again onto Xantho, and Liquid Citadel are doing a great job of maintaining this presence on point after that pause.
Absolutely. I mean, like, this goes back to with the power of Ultron alongside the Luna Snow, right? Like, it just feels like that backline. You saw Jitward just kind of trying to get a KO and just couldn't. It kind of goes back down to what you're talking about. And, they've really done a good job so far around playing around this Ultron, the Luna. I mean, this has got to be one of the most, the scariest things you can play against right now in North America, the Cooper, Nero, and Speedery back line. But we'll see what happens upcoming fight. We Lost need to find a KO here early. Drone overhealth used by the right clicks, but it's such a low cooldown, and that's kind of why Adam Warlock maybe is not as good as the Ultron.
Yeah, a good answer to some of this snowball dive stuff is going to be that triple backline that can output, reverse damage. And that's exactly what they're running. Spark Chief able to find Xantho here. Card on the high side, trying to apply some pressure. Not able to do too much to the dance floor. Landing on the backline now is looking for something. There's commitment from Mask here. It's going to be on that strap pool at this moment. Does have some experience available. Jitward looking for a pick, is able to find Speedery. And again, onto Cooper. Energy, though, finds Mask, and Paulie finds Cart. Jitward onto Nero for a third, though, but still 82% and climbing is Liquid Citadel.
I mean, every time we're at like the end of these fights, and it's like you mentioned, Paulie, Spark Chief still alive, getting the KOs. I'm surprised, by the way, they got traded on the inside, too. I don't know who it was. I think it was it Kendrick who went down? Like Kendrick, or not Kendrick. It was, it might have been Xantho or Cart or something. Like, they had somebody back there regardless, and they traded one of the Liquid Citadel strategists. It's already next map. Holy crap, they've done it. Liquid Citadel 2-0. We Lost.
Yeah, I mean, you try to find an answer, like we're saying, to some of this dive, more aggressive stuff. And I do think that Ultron comp and having Fox are great solutions to that comp. And I think it was just shown right there. Yes, they may have gone down a few times, but then you look back on point, and like you're saying, the Vanguards just are immune. They have full HP, and they're pummeling your back line throughout that whole trade. Next thing you know, you lose the point.
Oh, like I feel like if we're not even like getting a KO with damage boosts, like you have the one with the strap pool with the Mantis and stuff, and they're still struggling. I mean, my goodness, like they're trading so well. The Van pool, like you mentioned, doing work. Spark Chief as well, coming through with only one KO on his part. He's been living throughout these fights, and this would feel like really tough to deal with as a duelist player, dude. Like, because you dive in, you're like, damn, they don't get KO'd, they don't die. Like, this is brutal.
Yeah. And they're taking half my HP out throughout the mix there. I know Gaskin, as we're going to be, we'll pull you in after this short break. But folks, stay with us, as this was a bit of a sweep here, but we'll see if Yet We Lost can bounce back right after this.
More enjoyable. Please don't hesitate to ask. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Just watch me now under the moonlight. 저 위로 날아올라. Moonlight shine on my window frame. On a boat to my flame. Blinding shining lights. Oh, oh, oh. I feel it's skipping way out of control. Lock in. Oh yeah, we won't stop it. Flying high is our destiny. Lighting up flaming stars. We're reaching out towards victory. 눈부신 꿈으로 차가운 심장을 쉬고 더 높이 날아가. They can't catch my vibe and my life. We're dancing under moonlight. 손 묶어버려. Turning up the heat. Get it, oh. We're switching up the lip gloss. Mixing up the crystals. All they want to know how we do it. Now it's time to switch to flight mode. Yeah, 차올라 내 눈빛 봐. 불부터 나 ready now. 떨림이 번져가 입안 위로 올라타. 거침없이 난 dive. 겁없이 뛰어가 flight mode. Be breath-free, shining, flying high. Feel the spark of flight mode. 우리 하늘 위로 더 rise up. 사라져 fade away moonlight. Gonna burn the night out. Every time my heart's flight, we go higher, eyes wide, right through the starlights. 차가운 공기속을 realize 지금이야, take flight. We're dancing on the moonlight. 손 묶어버려. Turning up the heat. Gonna get it, oh. We're switching up the lip gloss. Clear the way! Feel the pull! Disappear!
Welcome back, everyone, to Marvel Rivals Ignite preseason, and appreciate your patience while these players are just getting ready in the lobby for their second map. At the moment, we've got Team Liquid Citadel against Yeah We Lost, and Team Liquid are 1-0 up against Yeah We Lost. The real question is, can Yeah We Lost come back into it, or will we see Team Liquid Citadel continue to be unbeaten and not even dropping a map? Dogman, initial thoughts? Do you think that Team Liquid Citadel are going to do the 100% here?
I mean, I think really I just got to be impressed with the Vanguard play. You know, usually that's more of like a Shib's forte than mine, but like they played it really well. I mean, like obviously you can play well in Vanguard if you have a really good strat line. But yeah, huge plays done throughout of Team Liquid Citadel, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was a 2-0 sweep, but yeah, we lost are taking us to Shin Shibuya, which is, I imagine, a favorite map of theirs considering they love to run the divey stuff.
Yeah, Shib, you were talking about diving on Burn and T'Challa. Is it even more increased here on Shin Shibuya? We've obviously seen teams trying to hold the height as long as possible when defending. Do you think, yeah, we lost have a chance?
Yeah, there's definitely a ton of dive potential here, but I also think it lends itself to have some unique strategy because it's just such an open square on point one. Point one has had so many different takes that I'm not even sure what the best avenue is yet. A lot of teams try to drop back and defend in that arcade, but then we saw in the past Cart go in there on Hulk and just sweep everyone, right? So they have solutions to different defenses. I'm just not sure, what bodes itself to be the better strategy on the map.
Yeah, it's going to be a question of, do you see mirrors happening, or are TLC just going to stick to their guns? Yeah, we lost going to change anything up? I mean, we can only find out the answer once we actually get into the game. I think I'm just very impressed with how Team Liquid Citadel have been throughout this preseason. Very structured. They know what they want to do. They know how they want to approach the games. Of course, we spoke to the coach of Team Liquid Citadel as well, and how they go about bans against teams in targeting, or whether they just want to do more generic bans as well. And I do think that they've really found that perfect rhythm at the moment, from getting into picks and bans into game and then just playing something that is comfortable for them. Well, it looks like they are ready and the map is loading in, so that means picks and bans are going to be happening very shortly. So Dogman, Shib, take us away. TLC versus YWL.
All right, my friend, and here we go again. I gotta say, and you say the same, Liquid Citadel have not missed a beat there. Yeah, we lost, definitely struggled. They're finding a ton of eliminations, but it just doesn't matter when the point's not in your favor. It's all about maintaining presence on Dom, but it's a different story here, so maybe things shake up as we see the double gambit removal.
Yeah, double gambit removal, and I do kind of like that that Gas brought up their coaches and like going through the ban phase and stuff too, because that kind of goes back to what he was saying, what Gator was said in the interview the other day, was that legit their other coach on the squad is taking more of a role in that ban phase, because it's interesting when he joined FlyQuest. It was when he came over from, the game that shall not be named, and came over, immediately said that I'm not doing the ban phase because I don't really know the meta. I'm just taking more care of the players personally. But now he's more involved. So that's very interesting. I think how that dynamic shifted. Obviously, he's a very smart guy, and as are Liquid Citadel. So they immediately go for that ban, the protect again on the Elsa after going through the ban phase with the Gambit. And Ship, this kind of goes back to what you said with Gambits being removed, then letting the Elsa, right? This is kind of an interesting sort of difference of opinion so far, where we immediately get that Mantis Protect off the rip for We Lost, whereas both Gambit and Elsa, who are seen as two top-tier heroes this patch, are removed on Citadel side.
Yeah, and I like the ban there of the Vanpool. I think we just saw infinite value from that. So that's a good idea there. Obviously, they want to try to get energy back on the Elsa there because he's just dominant on the hero. He's up at the top of the conversation for the very best. And we see the save there of the Ultron. And the thing that kind of surprises me, and I don't think it's necessarily a ban target, but that Ultron does a great job in countering what We Lost wants to do. So I think that it's always going to be a solution for them. I'm curious if a ban would do them favors.
Well, see, this is the interesting thing. They're going for the counter Pauli's hero pool strategy, and for Citadel, other teams were going for the counter Jitward strategy, and Citadel just ignored that. Liquid Citadel are okay, whatever, give Jitward Daredevil, who gives a crap, right? And it's been working so far, right? It's very unique because they're going after Pauli's hero pool, kind of like what we saw out of other teams. Doctor Strange ban again against We Lost, and that might be, in my opinion, the linchpin to the potential faltering of We Lost, is that I just love this team a lot more when they have Kendrick on Doctor Strange and not on Magneto, just because it feels like the Magneto's a bit more of a rock ship. As a Vanguard player yourself, why is that? Why is when I was talking to Wav and stuff, he's saying Doctor Strange has played more like a dive character this patch, but Magneto feels like he's just a sunken rock, just kind of anchoring everything down. Why is that messed up the pace of We Lost?
Yeah, I mean, Magneto in general just has a defensive playstyle, and Strange with the new jump buff that he received, the momentum buff, allows him to play so aggro, and you can use that ultimate instead of always being focused on countering, which you do a lot with Magneto. You're trying to answer some sort of ultimate, you're trying to stop a strat. With Strange, you can just ult whenever you see a window because it can be massive. It affects everyone around you. You can make huge team plays, and Magneto, it's always just an answer, or typically it's just an answer, so it makes you play a little bit more defensively, and I know We Lost as a whole, yeah, they're reactive, and We Lost doesn't like to be reactive. They want to be forcing the teams to react to them.
Yeah, excellent point. That's very interesting. We'll see if this sort of is the reason why We Lost will lose today. Maybe for Liquid Citadel's side, the fact that they've had so much respect towards Paulie is what we've seen in AMER, but it also puts Paulie back onto the Magneto. Interesting enough, Shib. So have they finally found the solution to Liquid Citadel, or are they just going to have to deal with Speedery back on the Ultron and this backline triple comp that seems impossible to KO?
See you in a moment. Let the games begin, folks. I like the attack strategy from We Lost here, breaking down that wall and playing on the left side. We saw a lot of this in Ignite Stage 1, opening things up. You don't ever want to get caught in the choke, which you see a ton in ladder. That will shake away completely at this level of play, and they'll always try to sweep and find a different avenue, because just so you put you in a horrible position, just constantly fighting in that choke. Jitward tries to make a play in the backline, forces out Bubble there. Paulie holding the height is also going to be on that Magneto now and finds Card in the backline, looking for a two-piece. His energy takes out Zatex, and that's a good start here for Team Liquid Citadel. We Lost us have ult available here though for Mask. Likely going to hold on until the team regroups.
Yeah, I mean, Xantho goes down late. I mean, they got a tick at the very least, but I think this comes down to the first fight being lost. We're building up towards that ultimate, the Hulk getting a little countered, but the Doctor Strange ban again coming into effect because, you usually see teams on Shin Shibuya attack go for that portal flank behind play, so you lose your setup play that you've been doing every scrim basically, just because of that ban phase.
Yeah, there's so many. I love the Strange ban. Honestly, I think we talked about liking it a lot towards the end of last Ignite, and maybe not as meta or just wasn't as consistent in terms of the ban. I think this is really, really smart from them, as we see now. Out goes that commitment of the ban hammer. Cooper able to find Jitward, Card, able to find energy. And that's the trade back. Energy almost had ult there too, which is a tough look, but Speedery's going to start up here with the Rage of Ultron. Cooper going to clean up Zatex, and that's going to put them back up in numbers and find Zatex, which is a huge pick, very close there to the Soul Resurgence.
Yeah, this is really a game of excellent strat play now. I mean, we move immediately from the last map where I think Paulie was going off, and now on this map, it just feels like anytime there's downtime, you see a pick off from somebody on the backline, whether it be Nero or Cooper. We're committing the Hulk ultimate, though, from We Lost side, so they don't want to give up just yet as Paulie secures the objective. Oh my god, they take someone about to die.
There's that Meteor M we were talking about defensively. Not sure exactly what the goal of the counter was. Doesn't seem to work, though. His energy is able to find Cart right there. Out goes the Glartrox. That does not land, but tries to pull and does around the Cart onto Zatex. Huge play. Does not get the pick there, though, but a good idea. Chasing that to the off angle as Kendrick now falls. Pauly able to take out Xanthro with that counter as Nero also finds Jitward, and everyone goes down here for Yeah We Lost.
I don't know how you beat this team at this point, Shib. Like, I don't want to, give them too much gas or anything, but like they are unKOable. If you're against the backline, this that's as strong as this and as coordinated. What do they do here, right? They need to get off some good ultimates, but it looks like the bunker play on the inside angle where they disengage Cart has been brutal. The change up is to put Cart onto Venom and put Jitward back onto the Spider-Man, but I mean, Pauly's still done whatever he wants. Look at him. He's all the way on their side of the map.
Jeez, cleaning house too. Almost finds 3 there. Speedery try to clean that up. Jitward trying to make a play on Speedery here, but Speedery with some good movement. Going to drop back towards the dance floor to stay healthy. And I'm with you, buddy. I mean, looking at this team right now, they're running a very similar comp. Yeah, we lost trying to do the same concept that Liquid Citadel just shut down last map. You can't rinse and repeat something if it ain't working, right? The definition of insanity is repeating the same thing and expecting a different result. But I'll tell you right now, Liquid Citadel is really strong against this dive, and this goes to show you there is a solution to this meta.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, usually other teams would play like the Wolverine and stuff. In this case, they don't have to. These Ultron comms bunkers so well, with around the Elsa, it looks like so far. So Energy just able to take care of this Hulk every single time, or Venom. And again, Jitward goes down early. Pauly comes back with another KO. That's 2 down, and Invisult's just too late.
A lot of commitment. Yeah, that Invisult is just a little bit too late. 10 seconds here. Going to be no portal play, folks. Remember, not on the table at all. Zatex switching over to Iron Man at that moment, too. Not sure what the idea is there, but the laser is out. Tries to run away in that moment. Is going to fall to Energy from downtown. Overtime still ticking down. 1 on Cart for the moment, and it is Cart, what do you know, but falls to Cooper, and an absolutely flawless defense there from Liquid Citadel.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I can't even speak because of it was just clean bunkering on the inside angle. And this is what we talk about when other teams are lacking, or at least the strength of when we saw like other squads play well, when 100 Thieves were playing well, when other teams were winning. It's because they're bunkering on the inside somewhere around a health pack usually, and Shin Shibuya, another map where you could do that. And they even put their Ultron in there, and it seems like they don't go down, they don't die. Even with all the damage boost, if you play it perfectly, especially around Nero and the White Fox, which you guys talked about a potential ban of the White Fox that could come out, I wouldn't be against it because, I mean, Nero comes back with that TP, can save anybody that's 1 HP, gets healed up, throws a shield around them, and it just feels like, yeah, we lost, have no counter to it. Like, it doesn't matter how much damage they do because inevitably they're going to lose a Vanguard. Look at that stat line just across the board. Beautiful plays, Energy the only one to go down. I mean, I don't think there's an argument against Liquid Citadel's backline right now. This is the best backline in North America.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. Right now, I mean, it's proven. They haven't lost a single map going against the best other team, I would argue, or, in the conversation for the best other team in this side of B, right? In the B side, because I think A side has a ton of competition as well, and we'll see what that shakes out like as we move forward. Again, both these teams are progressing. It's all about seeding here. The idea was to see how we lost performed into a team like Liquid Citadel, and I'll tell you what, Liquid Citadel are looking like they're really not struggling too much here.
Yeah, we'll see how they do. If they change things up, yeah, we lost going for a bit of a gimmick play, Shiv. They're doing the Zaza. Zatex going to be over to the Black Widow, and they're going to give the Mantis damage boost to try to find one-shots on defense of all things.
Yeah, I think that's to maybe counter the Ultron, if not just to be a little funny and cheeky. I'm not really sure what the goal is, but we'll see if it works out. First Widow play. Oh, is able to find Energy. I love it. I love to see it. I'm sure the Widowmains are stoked. All 4 of them as Cooper also falls here too. Zatex showing up right now on the Widow, trying to get on the map here as the best Widow stats.
Get another one. Get another one. Oh my goodness, he's close to. Dude, this is gonna be like that one highlight reel you'll see in like a CS match where they'll be like, whoa, they're about to pop off, crazy highlight, and it's just like 30 seconds. It's gonna be only the Zatex 2 shots. That's it's gonna be hilarious later on. Maybe he keeps going. Wait, they got Energy. Called it too soon, Chip. They're winning.
Smart Chief able to find Zatex, and there's that pick on the Widow. Will not be obviously rezzed in that moment. Smart Chief taking the zone right back, pressing in. Seems like the teams are having a little bit of fun with it. Smart Chief going to drop back, try to get this health pack. Does just that good movement. Speedery in danger with a ton of the front line, but drops right back to the back line off map, or not even needing to, is Mask, who falls to Spark Chief.
Yeah, it's just pretty much over. I mean, beautiful shot to the Zatex, guys. Somebody make the highlight reel after this game of just him hitting that kill or KO. Gets kicked away, saves his stats and a KO. Huge job by Zatex and a loss. You know, that's like Chris Paul cuts the lead down by 40. And rest in peace, my sons. But Liquid Citadel get it done, Shib. They win 2-0 over Yeah We Lost. I think, in hindsight, very, I guess, expected result.
Yeah, I think that was just a mental break at that point. I don't think, Yeah We Lost believed they had that, and so they were just changing things up for fun. But that is, if a team can do that to you at this level of play, that just shows that maybe this team is at another level than everyone else. I'm looking forward to seeing what they stack up to and everybody else on the A side bracket coming up here as we move forward over these next couple weeks.
Wow, I mean, now everyone in rank's going to be playing Black Widow. That's what I've established from that one, and I'm a little bit concerned, but Zatex certainly put on a little bit of a show for us as they were, of course, taking a bow, exiting that matchup. I think we knew it was a foregone conclusion by that point. Team Liquid Citadel just look too good. They look unbeatable at the moment, so polished, so clean, no one really able to touch them, and they will be marching through to playoffs undefeated. The real question is, when we get to playoffs, can we see teams start to test them a little bit here, Dog? Because at the moment, they just seem to have got by every single question that's been asked of them, whether it's a dive composition, whether they've had to mirror, whether they've had to just try and take things into their own hands. They've always had the answer, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, maybe we could see a turnaround by SSG in the playoffs, and because they look better this week and stuff. But I mean, the only team that really stressed this Team Liquid Citadel squad out was Team Lunex, who have a chance to get eliminated, right? So that's like actually insane. That week one, day one, that was the toughest match Team Liquid Citadel had, which was losing a single round on Krakoa. So they haven't struggled since then, and yeah, this is what happens after a meta gets established and the top team starts to really put their foot down and really set the meta. This team is really good, and I don't even know if they look way better than they did last week, and I'm scared for the 4 seed coming out of Group A now.
Now, on the other side, Shib, for Yeah We Lost, they still progress through to playoffs, so they won't be too disheartened. They've certainly learned a lot of lessons coming into MRI. How are you feeling about them moving forward? Do you think that there's a little bit more to offer from them? Have they learned enough lessons that they're going to be able to improve from what they've had so far in the early stages of group stages here?
Yeah, I think they're a solid team. I mean, they just absolutely smoke and dominate some teams, which is super important, but I think they have been downloaded, at least by Liquid Citadel. I think they need to go back and do their homework and try to find a way around this comp that they're really solid at. They run this Ultron super well. Speedery didn't go down a single time there on the Ultron in that map, and maybe didn't get a ton of KOs, but that's not really the point. The point is to protect that backline from some of this dive that's there, and absolutely did that. A lot of the backline only goes down one time, right? The next is Energy with 3, and he was just playing hyper aggro, just getting as many picks as possible. So they have the solution comp to this team. I want to see what else Yeah We Lost can cook to try to push forward against a team of this caliber.
Dog, do you think there's a case of Yeah We Lost played the wrong teams to begin with? Like, is there a world where had they played Team Liquid in day one of this tournament, then this might have been a different result? Because they seem to catch teams off guard at the start of things, but now people have kind of learned how they played, or am I reading too much into it?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think that Team Liquid Citadel, I could see them, week 1, day 1 or 2, definitely being caught off guard. I think you're 100% on the mark there. But it's a matter of now it might be too late, right? It's like you've let this main character just keep getting stronger and stronger. It's like the final boss was like showed up at the beginning. It's the classic thing, like the main character's like, I'll get you at the end, and then obviously the boss gets dominated by the main character because he's so OP at that point. So it's very much so in that regard. And also the meta is disgusting for them, and especially if they keep playing it this way, because all they're doing is playing, like Shib said, around the Ultron, not dying. And what they do is they have Cooper in the backline doing damage down range, kind of playing that sort of main strategist, and then obviously same thing sort of where speed. But then you have Nero, who is kind of doing whatever he wants, but rubber banding, where he's like on an off angle, doing crazy things on White Fox with the diver, like Spark Chief or whatever. And the moment he sees Cooper or his Ultron get low, he's just TPing back and just playing with them, and then they KO the tank. So it's just such smart play, and this is a really good meta for this squad.
I'm sure that now teams will be studying Team Liquid Citadel, as they will be Swamp Gaming as well, and trying to find where their strengths and weaknesses are. But Shib, you were saying they've figured it out, they've stopped dive. What do you bring that down to? Is it White Fox? Is it as simple as that, or is it something a little bit deeper?
Well, I think looking at the stats is a great way to show this. So I want to draw attention. Speedery has the most healing on the team with 8K. Obviously, look at Mask and Xantho. They're at 11 and 13. So healing is not even what I'm trying to reference here. Then you look at the damage numbers. Cooper and Nero both at 8, 7, and then Speedery at 9. And I'm talking the same damage as Energy at 9. They are just focused on dealing damage and healing only when they need to. They are just bursting everyone down that aggresses them in the back line. They're allowing Fox to do some crazy stuff while Ultron just protects them and heals them and gets the most healing numbers in the game.
Well, maybe we can find out a little bit more from the horse's mouth, because we have an interview now. We've got Speedery, who is going to be joining us here after a very impressive group stage, to say the least. Speed, I mean, that is a 5-0, unbeaten on every single map. I'm sure that you guys are feeling pretty good right now. I just want to ask you in general, like, you seem to have figured out this meta. What do you bring that down to? Is it just studying other teams, or have you just been focusing on your strengths as a squad?
Well, I think we've got the meta figured out pretty well. I think it mainly boils down to knowing which characters are the strongest. And for this patch, I would say it's mainly Vanguard, Deadpool, Elsa, and Gambit. So I think we mainly center our bans around those and also our saves. So that's like what we've been doing.
I mean, you guys have looked untouchable thus far. How far can it go, though? Like, your sights must be set on winning preseason now to just trying to assert some dominance. Do you have a particular team you think is going to be your biggest challenge? I mean, Swamp Gaming obviously comes to mind.
Yeah, I think we can't really be too excited about this current group stage because I think our group is easier than the other one. But yeah, I'd say Swamp is probably our team to beat. They're the hardest team in the other bracket for sure.
Well, on that note, you know, obviously since the number one seed is steadily in your hands at this point, right? Like, out of all of the teams that could be that 4th seed in the other group, who would be kind of the most interesting matchup for you? And also, like, because if you could live out of the tournament early on, like, who would you feel between Sentinels, Energy, Cafe Rose, or 100 Thieves? Is there any specific team that you're surprised, first of all, that will be a 4th seed? Because you said it's the harder group, but, you know, who do you kind of want to play against in maybe the hardest matchup for you?
I feel like they're all pretty similar in strength, but maybe NRG is probably the hardest team to be in the 4th seed if we were to play them.
Is that like a stylistic thing? Is like a matchup thing specifically, or it's just they look like the strongest in practice and it's not like they're doing necessarily well against you guys or something?
I would say, yeah, they just look the best in practice. I think they have like a better grasp on the meta and they have pretty strong players.
Perfect. Shaking up the questions a little bit, but you guys are banning out Strange. Is that more targeted to Kendrick? I've always said I think the Strange ban is awesome because it gets rid of the retake potential and that completely removes it from the idea of what you have to worry about. Can you walk me through the thought process there?
Yeah, it was pretty targeted towards Kendrick. It's we've watched back their matches and that dude just flies in with 100 charge and maybe one-shot someone. And we were also thinking that since I'm on Ultron, if he can like fly at me or something, that would be really annoying. And also they're a team that really likes to do like the TP, like kidnapping play on a lot of maps. So we figured, yeah, we should probably take that away from them.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm loving the change in ban from you guys this season for sure. Well done.
It does seem like you guys have everything figured out at the moment. Speed, this is a chance where I'll give you an opportunity to maybe shout out any fans, any friends, or your teammates. What have you got to say to the world that's watching possibly the best team in the region right now?
Well, I give a shout out to my team and my coaching staff, especially Gator and Legit. They've done a really, really good job at helping us understand what's good and what's bad on the current patch. And this team is just awesome to be around. So yeah, shout out to them.
They are definitely awesome to watch as well. Congratulations, my friend. Enjoy your winning moments, and we look forward to seeing you in playoffs.
Thank you.
Congrats, buddy.
Well, there we have it. The unbeaten, untouchable, undefeatable Team Liquid Citadel. Can anyone reach them when we get to playoffs, guys? Because that's going to be the question that's going to be burning on the tip of our tongues, I'm sure. But now we get to shift our direction in conversation from an unbeaten team to two teams who still have it all to play for as we go into our next matchup. And I don't want to give away too much, but of course, Cafe Rose are very much riding on this one, as are 100 Thieves. And after the break, of course, we will figure out just what we need in both of these matchups. Quick prediction from you, Dogman. If you had to give me right now, NRG versus Sen, one word, who's winning?
N is in the team name. That's all I'll say.
Okay, that could be Sen, that could be NRG, I don't know, but one of them has to get a victory. And of course, it could be at the demise of Cafe Rose or 100 Thieves. We'll find out a little bit more after this break.